about the 2020 election. He's done so because he values power over principle.
Hiya people, welcome back to the channel. Let me just make this quite clear before we go any further. This channel is not a politically based channel. I do not push politics on anybody, but this particular post is about American politics, and we don't come across it very often here in the UK, but I have noticed on forums and posts and conversations and anything to do with electric cars, it can be very political. Now, I don't know if anyone else has ever noticed this, but I 100% know this is fact. And I'll try and piece together some of the comments that I've had put to me, although I've lost them in space somewhere by now. But what it basically is, on a lower level, on a day-to-day working man, blue-collar, white-collar working man, whatever level, it seems that it's a different type of politics to what it is when it comes top-end with Biden and his adversary. And I've just come across something very, very strange in forums when I'm talking to anyone in America and the USA. Hiya people in the US, hello, my subscribers, I always like to say hello to you. And I'm going to make something else clear before I go any further. The USA has gave me so much joy all of my life, and I'm going back again and I'll go back again. And it's gave me and my kids a great lifestyle because my business was importing stuff from the USA, so I've spent a lot of time over there, folks. Seen a lot of good stuff, and I'm still going back to enjoy more. I'm trying to get this into a certain way before we continue with this post, and that is that this is not about right and left wing politics as we know it top end, like I say. Bring it back down to a level of me and people who are associated with me, people I talk to on forums. They're the people who are expanding this big electric here, ice here. In other words, it's like that redneck has to have a pickup truck with a big noisy V8, and a liberal has to have a Toyota Prius. These were preconceptions 10 years ago. They're still there in US politics or in US car politics, and there is such a thing. Now, what I've found is that going forward, the people I talk to who have got ICE cars, who are very anti-EV, seem to come from a certain bubble of culture. And I've also found that the extreme EV supporter comes from another bubble. Now me, and this is where I do differ, I'm kind of different to most because I only just come out of the petrol head bubble. I can still say that I enjoy looking at old classic cars and old petrol cars that I had and get the old album out and look at, oh yeah, that was a nice car, oh that was a great car, and blah blah blah, like this here and that there. And I've shown them many times on this channel. But I've never thought of politics as being part of the car scene, but I 100% know it is in the US. And some of the comments I've got very, very derogatory sometimes as well. When I've said a comment to support the EV culture, the person with the V8 pickup truck who never ever touch an EV kind of like starts to pick on the right wing and left wing of politics. And so once you've mentioned the word EV, you become a Biden supporter.
Look, the future of the auto industry is electric. There's no turning back. Right now, China is leading in this race. Make no bones about it. It's a fact. And they think they're going to win. But I got news for them. They will not win this race. We can't let them.
If you have a big V8 pickup making a load of noise and a big diesel one spewing out, you're a Trump supporter. And I can't be the only one who's seen this, surely. This 100% happens in the USA. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the world from what I can gather. It doesn't help because of the Biden administration promised as soon as he got power that most, if not all, of government vehicles will be shifting from fossil fuels to full electric within a certain amount of years. Don't quote me, I think it's 25 or 26 that 50% of all USA government vehicles, be it cars, vans or whatever, will be 100% electric. That would have never ever have happened if Trump had got back in power. Mr. Trump, bless him, I know that I did like some of his views and some of his politics. He kind of like picked on the electric car and said, not for us, let's just continue the way we are. There wasn't a great deal of support from right-wing community for electric cars. Now, I don't know this, maybe it's because it's financial. Maybe because of all the money that the right-wing extreme side of the US have got is still in oil and coal and nothing to do with the new wave of investment. The new wave of investment being sustainability and renewables. I think that's been the big separation between the two. And this is where it's become quite political. I do believe that everyone has the right to do what they want, and I like the freedom attitude of it and all the rest of it. And this is why I'm a big supporter of the USA after the UK. I don't see why, if you're a right-wing and Trump supporter and a redneck, and you've got this big loud pickup, why you can't transition into having a new EV pickup. And I just can't get my head round why this comes about in the USA. It's very, very strange. Point being made here, just because someone drives an electric car or believes that people should go a bit greener doesn't turn them gay. Can I just make that quite clear? And I think the first comic that ever brought this up,
Fucking Prius. You ever heard it when you're driving by? No. It goes, I'm gay.
now he was the first to slag off the Prius, the Toyota Prius, which is not an electric car, may I add, it's a conventional hybrid, 8 years ago. And in his comedy act, he made out that anyone who drove a Prius was gay. I don't think he'd get away with that now. I think we've moved on a bit and got a bit more socially conscious, if that's how you phrase it. I'm different to most. I can boast on both accounts. In England, probably I'm one of an exceptional, very small group who have had American cars all their lives. My first one was 19 years of age, a 66 Mustang. And ever since then, I've always owned American vehicles. Very often me to go back to European stuff, and I got bored of it and I got back into American. And over the last 45 years, I bet I've registered at least 50 American cars in my name. But they've always been American, and big V8 and noisy and polluting. So nobody out there can preach to me, right, the wrongs and rights of being a petrol head or being an EV lover. I've chosen to go down the EV route. I've come away from the V8, I've come away from the petrol, definitely diesel because I hate the sins out of them.
I'm an electric car. I can't go very fast or very far. And if you drive me, people will think you're gay.
As I've been called before, or a tree hugger, or an EV evangelist. That's another one that makes me laugh. An EV evangelist. Hey dudes, if that's what I am, that's what I am. I don't care. But what was I then 3 years ago when I had my last Mustang GT? Tell me. I'd love to know. Imagine if there was a country star, okay, because the country boys out there, and I do like modern country, have been into modern country for about 10 years now, seen a lot of people in festivals and all over the place, so seen some big name stars. You look at a typical country video and it's all old V8 pickups, classic cars, or new muscle cars or whatever, and they're all part of the scene of being a country star. Imagine the first country star that's going to buy the F150 full electric pickup truck. Now, will he have the courage to use that in a commercial for his music? Will he have the courage to use that in a pop video of his or her music? The first person that does that will be hailed a hero by all the EV clan. But imagine the kick up the ass that guy or lady could get from the very traditional country supporters who have still got these big petrol and diesel V8s and love to see me in these videos and know that, hey, hold on a minute, times are changing here. This is what I'm not into. I'm not into electric cars. I'm using that electric pickup for. And even the smallest thing like that, I have noticed, can have a massive divide in USA cultures. Now, like I've said before, I love the USA and I will go back again. And if if at any time I got to the point where I felt threatened or got my car attacked because it was an electric car, I think that would be the last time I'd ever go back, because I think I would see the extreme of it. But there is videos out there, if you check them out on Facebook and all the rest of it, and even here on YouTube, where people have actually attacked Teslas, scraped them down the side, smashed into them deliberately, tried to chase them off the road. And it's always the good old boys, or these real rough looking guys in 2-bit $400 cars trying to chase them off the road. Now, is this a green-eyed thing? Is it a jealousy thing? Or is it more than that? Is it political? Is it, oh, look at this gay liberal, because he's got an electric car, which I do not get. And they're trying to prove something on that score. Hopefully, I will be able to, before I edit this, get some of the lines that I've had pointed at me in forums and groups. Because I've been an EV supporter against somebody who totally hates the hell out of them, because they've got all their money and all their time tucked into ICE vehicles, and they normally are mainly Americans that I argue with, which is a great shame, because I do get on with everyone I've ever come across in the US has been nice as pie with me. I've never had a gun in my face. I've never had any violence up against me. There's one little story you might like. Back in the day, the only ever road rage I've had against me in the USA, and I've done thousands and thousands of miles across the US in all different states, was a little old lady in the back in my rear view mirror. I was hooking the left, didn't see the light that allowed me to turn left. Being a British guy, I thought you couldn't turn left till the traffic had gone and all this malarking. She was bibbing her ooh, trying. I looked up like this a minute, and there she is giving me the finger in the rear view. That's as far as I've ever got with road rage in the USA. So yeah, I don't know where all this comes from, this left or right politics when it comes to cars, and especially against electric vehicles. That's about it. That's all I've got to say about it. Comments below would be great. I'm very, very intrigued. But I've listened to it, I've seen it, I've read it on some of the comments in forums, and even against me when I've mentioned electric cars. That's it, I'm tying it up at that. Hope you get some feedback off this. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe if you've not done before. Hope you're enjoying the channel. That's me done. Boom, I'm out.